Hello, my name is Emily from Supermom Crochet. Welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to make the third size in my quick and simple textured baby dress pattern series. In this video, I'll be showing you how to make sizes 2T, 3T, and 4T, so it's a larger size, starting at the neckline, working the bodice, and then working a full-length skirt. And then on the back, we'll be finishing with 2 buttons, and then full-length sleeves with a tapered wrist. So this stitch that's used throughout is a 1-row repeat, so it's super easy, but it gives a really nice textured look. So I do consider it to be a beginner pattern. All right, so this dress is made with Kobu yarn. This is in pale pink. It's a cotton and bamboo blend. For the 2T size, you need an E-hook or a 3.5 millimeter hook. For the 3T size, you need an F-hook or a 3.75 millimeter hook. And for the 4T size, you need a 4 millimeter hook or a G-hook. I'll be making the 2T size, so I'll be using my E-hook. All right, to start, we're going to make a slip knot. So I just drape the shorter end of my yarn over the longer end, come in from the top, and draw up a loop from the longer end. That's just how I make my slip knot. All right, so we're going to start by chaining 86. So with a nice even tension, not too tight, not too loose, chain 86. There's 10. 20. 30. 40. 50. 60. 70. 80. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 86. So we got 86 chains. All right, to begin row 1, we're going to put 1 half double crochet in the third chain from the hook. So yarn over, drop a loop, and pull through all 3. We're going to make 1 half double crochet in each of the next 9 chains. So we'll have a total of 10 half double crochets in this first section. All right. 9 and 10. So we've got 10 half double crochets. Now in the next chain, we're going to half double crochet, chain 2, and half double crochet again in that same chain. We're going to begin shaping our neckline. Okay. Now moving on, we're going to put 1 half double crochet in each of the next 20 chains. We'll have 20 half double crochets in this next section. Now, I have mentioned in a couple of my other videos in this series that if you do choose to work with a bamboo yarn like Kobu, it is by nature a pretty splitty yarn. So I find that it's much easier if you use a hook with a pointed tip at the end of the hook rather than like a circular one. Like if it's a rounded hook tip, you'll split the fibers a lot more. So my favorite is actually the Clover Amore hooks. I find that they are so much easier. When I was designing this pattern, I really didn't think I'd be able to use Kobu yarn because I was splitting like crazy. But then I found a pointy tip hook and now it's really easy. So if you want to give Kobu yarn a try, I would definitely recommend using a hook with a pointed tip. All right, so we've got our 20 half double crochets. In the next chain, I'm gonna half double crochet, chain 2, and half double crochet again in that same chain. Okay. Now again, make 1 half double crochet in each of the next 20. All right. In the next chain, half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet, and again one more time, make 1 half double crochet in each of the next 20 chains. All right. Again, in the next chain, half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet. Right. Now to finish the row, just make 1 half double crochet in each of the last 10 chains. So we'll have 2 sections of 10 half double crochets, 3 sections of 20. All right. So this is how the neckline looks. Just kind of try to shape it here. Okay. All right. So this is the front of the dress. It's the arms, and this is the back of the dress. So that is row 1. Moving on to row number 2. I've chained 1. I'm going to turn. And we're going to begin our pattern stitch. So to do that, in this first stitch, single crochet and double crochet on that same stitch. Now skip the next stitch and work into the next. Single crochet, double crochet, skip the next stitch, single crochet, double crochet, skip 1, work in the next. Do this all the way to that first chain 2 space. All right, and in that last half double crochet before that chain 2, single crochet, double crochet. Okay, so in this first section we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pairs of our stitches. Now working into the chain 2 space, we're going to double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. Okay, now working into that next stitch, the first one after that double crochet we just made, single crochet, double crochet, skip 1, single crochet, double crochet. And just continue that across to the next chain 2 space. All right, coming up on the next chain 2 space. All right. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pairs in this section. All right. Work into that chain 2 space, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. To keep in pattern, we did skip that last half double crochet before the chain 2 space. But we're going to work in that first stitch after the chain 2 space. All right, I'm coming up to the next chain 2 space. Skip that last stitch to stay in our pattern. We don't want to add too many stitches. Then double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in the chain 2 space. Work into that first stitch after and work on our pattern. Again, just continue this to the next chain 2 space. All right, coming up on that next chain 2 space. Skip that last half double crochet, work into the chain 2 space, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and just continue in our pattern in that next stitch to the end. So our first and last sections have 6 pairs, and the 3 in the middle have 11 pairs of stitches, just so you can keep it lined up. And in that last stitch. Alrighty. So chain 1 and turn. I'm going to show you how the neckline is shaping. There's how it looks at the end of row 2. Moving on to row 3. This is our repeat row. So to do that, skip the double crochet and work your single crochet, double crochet into the single crochet. Skip the double crochet, work into the single crochet. That's our pattern. So we're just skipping the double crochets and then working our pattern stitch into the single crochets. It's pretty simple. It's just a nice, easy, mindless pattern. All right. So working up to that chain 2 space. Now to keep in our pattern, we don't want to make too many new stitches. So we're going to skip that double crochet right before the chain 2 space. Work into the chain 2 space with a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. And then we are going to work into that next double crochet. It's going to be where we increase our bodice. So work in that first double crochet and then again get back into our pattern by skipping the next double crochet and working into the single crochet. Continue that across to the next chain 2 space. All right, coming up on the next chain 2 space. Again, to keep in our pattern, skip that double crochet, chain 2, double crochet into the chain 2 space. Now make our increase by working into that next double crochet after the chain 2 space. So single crochet, double crochet into that double crochet, and then get back into the pattern by skipping the next double crochet and working our pattern stitch into the single crochet. All right, coming up to that next chain 2 space, Once again, as always, skip that double crochet, work into the chain 2 space, and then increase in that next double crochet. All right, coming to that last chain 2 space, skip the double crochet, chain 2, double crochet into the chain 2 space, and work into that next double crochet. Just continue in pattern to the end, and that is our repeat row. It's our 1 row repeat for the pattern. Okay, and 1 more. Okay, so chain 1 and turn. Okay, so that is how the bodice looks at the end of row 3. Now for rows 4 through 11, repeat row 3. So everything we did in row 3, repeat for rows 4 through 11 with a chain 1 and turn between each row. Okay, so this is how our bodice looks at the end of row 11. Just to count, skip that first chain, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rows. So this is how it looks. There's the front. Very cute, simple, pretty little pattern. All right. Moving on to the next row, chained 1, I've turned. We're going to separate the bodice for the armholes in this row. So just work as normal up to that first chain 2 space. Just work in pattern as usual. All right, coming up on that first chain 2 space. 1 more. Okay, so we're going to double crochet into the chain 2 space, chain 4, 2, 3, 4, skip all the stitches over to the next chain 2 space, and double crochet in the chain 2 space. There's the first armhole done. That's how it looks. And now just work in pattern, starting in that first double crochet as always. Work in your pattern to the next chain 2 space. All right, coming up to the next chain 2 space. Okay, so once again, double crochet into the chain 2 space, chain 4, skip all the stitches to the next chain 2 space, and double crochet into the chain 2 space, or the second armhole. And then just work the pattern as normal to the end of the row. Alrighty, coming up to the end, we've made our armholes. All right. Okay. Chain one and turn as always. But that is how the bodice looks. We've got armholes. All right, so this next row, we're going to be working our pattern in every stitch and chain as normal. So to do that, just work pattern as normal up to the chain 4. When we get to the chain 4, we'll just treat it like every other stitch and show you how to do it. Okay. Let's go one more. Now to keep in pattern, we're going to skip that last double crochet and work into the first chain. So just like every other stitch, we're going to single crochet and double crochet in that first chain, skip the second chain, and work into the third chain. Single crochet, double crochet. Then we'll skip the fourth chain and then work into the double crochet. And that gets us back into the groove of our pattern. That's how it looks. So just work in pattern again up to that next armhole. We'll do the exact same thing. Coming up on that next armhole, work in that last space. All right, so again, skip that double crochet and work into the first chain. Single crochet, double crochet in that chain. Skip the second chain, work into the third chain. Skip the fourth chain and work into the double crochet. And again, that puts us back into our pattern. Second armhole. And then just complete the row as normal in our pattern. All right, coming to the end of the row. All right, so this is how the bodice looks with our armholes nice and separated and worked into. Moving on, this next row, we're going to start working on the skirt. So we're going to join the two sides of the bodice together. So to do that, I actually need to not chain one. So just got into the habit of chaining one. Do not chain one. Instead, slip stitch into the first stitch of the other side, like so. Slip stitch. Let's join the two sides together. Now I'm going to chain one, turn. We're going to work our pattern in every single stitch around. So starting with the same stitch that we chained one in, single crochet, double crochet. And now do not skip the double crochet. We're going to be working in every single stitch. So we're going to be increasing this round to give our skirt volume. So we're going to be working single crochet, double crochet in every single stitch. So no skipping stitches. Show you how that looks. And again, it's just to give our skirt some volume. That's how that looks. Now continue that all the way around, ending with a slip stitch in the beginning single crochet. Alright, so that's how the end of the first row of the skirt looks. We've increased all the way around. We've ended with a slip stitch, chained one, and now turn. And now we're going to go back to our pattern as normal. So single crochet, double crochet in the same stitch as our chain one. And then skip that double crochet and work into the single crochet again. So we're back to our pattern as usual. Okay. So continue this all the way down. For the 2T size, make 60 rows. For 3T, 70 rows. And for 4T, 80 rows to make a full-length skirt. All right, so I have completed 60 repeats, and that is how our skirt is looking. Nice and full length. All right, so all that's left is to finish the neckline and add the sleeves and the buttonholes and buttons. So please refer to the next video in our series to finish the back of the dress.